Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Pearl and this is Grace right here. Gracie has been battling some kind of illness. I am just here today to give an update on that. I was supposed to put another video out about Gracie's walker. I will put this video out sometime later this week, but I just want to thank all of you who have subscribed to our channel. We really appreciate that and we love you, and we want to thank our new subscribers as well. Thank you guys. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Those of you who are stopping by for the first time, please consider subscribing to our channel. So please subscribe, like, share, and comment in the comment section below. Also, I just want to give some shout outs for those of you who saw our short and who commented and who are praying. I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate the love, the support. I appreciate the prayers as well. We appreciate that, and we love you guys. Honestly, we love you guys. And honestly, with what we've been going through, you guys texting, commenting, it does help me. Thank you. So yes, I'm going to give an update on what's been happening and what is going on. So last week, Gracie, she went to school, and I put up a reel as well. She was very happy. Tuesday, she went to school. Gracie had an explosion, a punami, as we called it sometimes, in the school, and they had to change her, and so they put something on her. Thank you so much to her teacher and the staff at her school. Thank you guys for taking care of my daughter and cleaning her up and stuff. Thank you. And she came home. She was fine when she came home. She looked fine. Wednesday, I did not send her to school because I had a massive headache, y'all. I had a really bad headache. She went to bed fine. Everything was okay. And Thursday morning when she woke up with a fever, and she was breathing very fast. So I found that this was strange. That was not normal for Gracie. I checked her temperature. Her temperature was high. We gave her Tylenol and we did a cold compress for her. That brought her temperature down, but during the day it spiked up again. So when that happened, we did the cold compress. It did work for a little while, then it spiked up again. So I said to my husband, her body is fighting something. There is some kind of infection. We should take her to the hospital. We went Thursday afternoon, and when we got there, we were ushered into a room and a bunch of tests were done for her. They did one chest x-ray, they did two abdo x-ray, they x-rayed her belly, and the x-rays came back normal. The only thing they saw was Gracie was backed up a bit. Although she had that punami, she was still backed up a bit. And they did help her with an enema, and her breathing had gone back to her baseline. Her temperature, when we got to the hospital, she still had a temperature. They gave her Tylenol again, and that brought her temperature down. So whilst we were at the hospital, throughout the hours we were there, her temperature remained down. So because there was nothing, and the x-ray showed nothing, they discharged her and sent her home. But we came home and she was still sick, and she was not getting any better. When she woke up, she had another fever. Around 3:10 in the morning, she had a fever, and we gave her Tylenol again, and that broke the fever, and she's never had that fever again. But she was not eating much, she was not drinking much, and I was worried about dehydration. She threw up twice. We gave her something to eat, tried to give her some cereal and milk. She threw up 2 times, projectile. And we stopped giving her the milk. We tried giving her apple juice. We bought Pedialyte for her. You know, the whole thing you would do when a child is not well. We did all of these things, try to keep her hydrated. Gracie has a cold in her chest. She doesn't have a cold, but you can hear the mucus in her chest, in her lungs. You can hear she's coughing, but she doesn't like to cough. And when I listen to her lungs, the air entry is good. But when she's breathing out, she is doing that grunting sound, like she's forcing and she's pushing the air out. And that didn't sound right to me. Although she didn't have a fever, but the fact that she was not eating much and she was tired and sleepy, and the breathing was not right. We took her to the hospital. When we got there, they did another chest x-ray to see if it's pneumonia, and that was one of my concerns as well. I did not want for her to have pneumonia and for us to linger at home and for it to take the wrong turn. She doesn't have a pneumonia, she doesn't have an infection, because the longer you take, the more it will develop and spread, and a child Gracie's age and her size, that can be lethal very fast. So yeah, we went to the hospital and we left the hospital around 3 o'clock in the morning, and that was a long night, you guys. That was a very long night. Gracie did not want to be on the bed. Gracie wanted me to hold her all the time, and that's normal for Gracie. Whenever she's sick, she wants me to hold her, and it was very tiring. All of us were at the hospital. So they discharged her and we came home. Gracie was still sick. She still wasn't eating much. She still wasn't drinking. Like, she had not gotten back to her baseline. She would breathe in properly, but then to breathe out, kind of like grunting, like she was forcing to breathe out, as if it was hard to breathe out. When I listened to her lungs, the air entry was clear, but I could hear a little bit of wheeze when she was breathing out. So I stayed there and I said, I can't keep Gracie here. I prefer to go to the hospital for nothing than to sit home and there is something seriously wrong, because you could see Gracie was not herself. She was getting sicker instead of getting better. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4th day, that Gracie's still getting worse. So we decided, I said to my husband, I'm going to take her to the hospital. It wasn't, so we took her to the hospital. When we got to the hospital, we told them that we had been there the Thursday, and they did some tests again. I told them what was happening. She was not really eating. Gracie was not eating. Gracie would take a spoon or 2 spoonfuls of whatever we gave her, and what we were giving her was soup, because she wouldn't take anything. She threw up Thursday, she threw up Friday. We tried to give her some cereal, she threw up, and she was just very tired. And we took her in. We told them what was happening. They did another chest x-ray because we didn't know what was happening. That's the first time this has happened to Gracie. I really thought maybe it's pneumonia, and with pneumonia you can't take chances. You have to be quick about it. So we took her in. They listened to her chest. They said yes, she is wheezing when she's breathing out. Breathing in is okay, breathing out she's wheezing. You can hear it's tight when she's breathing out. You can hear the grunting. So Sunday, they did the chest x-ray again to rule out pneumonia. And when they checked the x-ray, when they did the x-ray, thank God, it came back negative for pneumonia. But her lungs, it's inflamed. They gave her Ventolin. She has Ventolin, but she only uses it when it's needed. And she's never needed Ventolin before, when she didn't have a cold. They took blood, they drew blood, and guys, Gracie has very, very small veins. It is very difficult to find Gracie's veins, and you have to be a real expert to get Gracie's vein without poking her a number of times. When they poked her last night, they said they were gonna draw blood, but then they changed their mind and said they're gonna put an IV for, if in case there is something and they need to give her meds through the IV. So when they tried poking her for a vein to put the IV, they couldn't find the vein, and my heart broke, y'all. This is how it is. This is the real life of a mom, and this is the real life, y'all. When they poke her, they couldn't get the vein. And the poor child. Anyways, let your imagination run. So I told them, you know what? To find a vein, you have to have ultrasound. That's the way they usually find Gracie's vein, through ultrasound. And even sometimes with the ultrasound, they cannot find a vein for Gracie. Sometimes they will see a vein and the vein will jump. It's very hard to get Gracie's vein. Then they said, okay, forget it. They're not gonna put the IV. If there's anything and they need an IV, then they will put the IV. Then they wanted to do a butterfly. She asked me where they usually get. I said, anywhere. It depends. Once you can get a vein, you can get the blood. So she did it right here, you guys, between the elbow. One poke, and she got the blood that she needed, thank God. And when she was done, she put the cotton on there with tape. And she was a very nice nurse. And it was not on this arm, it was on the left arm. And Gracie wanted me to hold her because I've been holding her. She was crying just for me to hold her, and I couldn't stand to see her cry. So I held her throughout the night. And that's how Gracie is. Once Gracie is sick, she wants me to hold her. And I held Gracie, and the tape got stuck in my cardigan. And when I was trying to fix Gracie to put her to sit up, the tape came off, and I just saw her blood started to shoot out. And I was like, oh shoot, and I just held the area and I put pressure on it, and the nurse quickly went and got some gauze and gave it to me, and I put it on the area and I applied pressure. The blood work came out, everything was good, nothing to worry about. You know, they did all kinds of blood work tests, and they did all kinds of tests with the blood. They did not do a culture. They did put a sample on a side for if in case they wanted a culture, but that was not needed. So they discharged her, they sent her home, and we got home this morning. About 4 o'clock in the morning we got home. Said that she had an asthma attack. It is asthma. Whilst we were there, they gave her 4 puffs of Ventolin, and then they gave her another second 4 puffs of Ventolin. So she got 8 puffs of Ventolin while we were in the hospital, emergency room. And they sent her home and told us to give her 4 puffs every 4 hours for the first 24 hours, and thereafter 2 puffs, and to give it to her after that as needed. So we came home, but Gracie is still tired. I don't know if it's because she did not get much sleep, but from morning, what time is it? It's 4:18 right now, and Gracie has been sleeping a lot. She's very sleepy. She's still not drinking much. She doesn't really have an appetite. But we are doing the best that we can to make her drink, which is very important to keep her hydrated. Gracie does not like to cough. You can hear the mucus. You can hear it. And you can hear that she wants to cough, and she'll go like, but she does not like to cough. But Gracie does have a very, very strong cough. So I'm not worried about any of this thing. I have been doing chest physio for her as well at home. And I'm hoping that tomorrow, God's willing, Gracie will wake up better.